Howdy, Beefalo Bart here, and welcome to Whatever Wednesday. Yeah, I just made that shit up like 5 minutes ago. Maybe 10. I don't know. I'm old. I forget things easy. So, what does it mean to be a Whatever Wednesday? This would kind of be the fill-in day for maybe taking a few questions here and there. Whatever comes along, we'll mess with. The current project at hand, we'll run into the city map real quick. One of the many projects that I'm working on. I'm sure you guys have seen this one already, but you've got the base character, base city. I have not done a hell of a lot since the last time I did a video on this. Yeah, we'll do some lean. Start to pick up a little bit of a jitter in the character. And I think I know where that is and why that is. Because something new was added in, and it might be causing some issues. It was added to the skeleton and not actually to the player characters, so I don't know why it's translating over. But let's see. The thing that I was working on earlier, I've got temporarily disabled. It was working just fine until I started doing the replication stuff on it, and then the client worked perfectly, but then the host or the server quit working. So make sure everything is in here. Got several different versions of how I'm doing this. Now, if you're doing single player, then it was a relatively easy thing. Because, you could just do it, cast 2-player and that kind of thing. But this is probably where I'm going to have to make some changes. And I definitely don't want to run it off event tech. I need to come up with a way of getting it off of the event tech, if possible. But essentially, the police officer sits right here, and if we hit play, everything is fine. Dude just stands there minding his own business. And what happens is I've just committed a crime. So for now, you can see on the bottom right, on the health bar, or right above it, indicates that that's my wanted level. Everything is all temporary right now. But so as that climbs from doing crimes, I hit 5. The little lightning bolt on top is just a temporary thing. So, yeah, what happens is you get stunned and sent to jail. I've been kind of fiddling back and forth, so some things are here still, some things are not. So I'll continue doing what I was doing before here. Let me get rid of some of this extra junk here. Don't need that, and I don't need that. Well, I do, but I'll just go ahead and recreate it on what I was doing. On begin play, essentially, it's going to set the duty post by getting its current location and where it's actually located at the beginning of the map. What I need to do is on the map, whenever I load the map, I need to set the prison location. For right now, I've got it actually pegged in right there, but the map itself would then set that location. Now, it could be here or it could be on the player character. It doesn't really matter. For right now, though, I'm working inside the actual bot itself, and all this stuff needs to be an AI behavior tree, and I know that, but this was just done for a proof of concept. Alright, so at this point we've had our bot come over to our character. AI move to, so let's separate some of the stuff so we can get an idea of what's going on. So we're going to get all actors of class, looking for a player character, or player underscore base in this case. I'm going to get a for each loop, then break the out actors, and look for specifically the wanted level to see if it's equal to 5. And I went ahead and set the output of that to be our target, so I can actually have a variable that I could throw into place whenever I needed to, instead of trying to drag everything off of this one pin. So if that's going to be true, then the bot itself is going to go ahead and move to that location of that actor. And it doesn't matter where they are, if they're continuously moving. As you can see right here, whenever that one level reaches up to 5, like I said, the marker above the player's head, that's temporary. I just wanted to ensure that things were being done. See it, reset it back, and I don't know why, but just a few seconds later, it just throws you back to that location. So I've got to break down everything in here anyway. So I want to level 1 back down. What happens is, no matter how much I move, until he actually gets close enough to me, and he has to get within 50 units. So here at this point, I'm going to go ahead and break everything else and rebuild everything as we're going. You know what? I'm just going to delete that so you guys can see what I'm doing to get to that point. Alright, so this is where we are here with that item. Pressing the number 3 key to raise my wanted level, and you see he will follow me everywhere I go. Doesn't matter where I hide, he will find me and he will get to me. If at some point he does fail, we'll have to come up with a backup for that. But that's the thing, is he will find our location and come to us. At that point, when he gets within acceptable radius or acceptance radius of 50, on success, we want to go ahead and do what's next. So what do we want to do next is we want to grab our target, and I'm going to increase that, well, I'll leave that at 50 for right now. We're going to get a reference to our target, and we are going to set movement mode. I love how it just jumbles the shit up like that, but that's okay. On success, we want to set movement mode to none. So what that's going to do is it's going to freeze us in place. So we're running around, we're committing crimes, our level 1 goes up, boom, aha, you can't catch me, copper. It gets within a close enough range, and bam, I can't move. My movement is disabled, and I'm stuck. So, the next thing I wanted to do is, I want to get rid of that little thingy above my head. So, let's set visibility of that lightning icon to false. So, we'll turn that off. So now, whenever dude catches up to us, see, we got our icon. So everybody in the world knows that we're a filthy-ass criminal. Okay, and there it goes. We can't move. Icon went away. We are good. Now we got to lower our wanted level. So I'm going to go ahead and, instead of just dragging everything from here, I'm going to go ahead and grab another reference to my target. And there we go. And what I want to do now is set wanted level to 0. And 1 second. Sorry, the sniffles here. Alright, so what do we got? One level's up, and oh, we can't move. One level is now back to 0, but we still can't do anything. So that's good. So once we set our wanted level to 0, What I want to do now is I want to get rid of the player character, and I want my dude to go, my cop bot to go back to where he was. So let us let's actually put in a slight delay so that we have just kind of a little buffer here. Let's put in a 2-second delay just because. And from here, what I want to do is set actor location and rotation. Might as well. So at this point, what I want to do is get my prison location, and I'm going to drag off from that and break transform. So now I get my location and my rotation of the prison location. And at this point, I want several things to happen. So what I'll do is I'll just break it off with a sequence. I could have done that over here, but whatever. So at this point, the player can do one set of things, and the bot can do another set. So let's actually do another set for the bot for right now. He's not going to have all that much. So let's do AI move to, and we're just going to go to a destination. I'm going to give it a little bit of space here so that I can go down here and work on the other part. So we just need that destination, and the duty post is set up as a transform. I could have just set it up as a location, but no worries. So we'll grab that location, and just because, get a reference to self. There is no target actor, radius is fine, everything should be good, and not that I can see any difference to it, but set actor rotation, and not that it really matters either, but I want to kind of set his rotation back to what he was when he first started. So now at this point, we want to add another delay in, because now we're dealing with our bad player. So we'll have a delay set at 3 seconds. Go ahead and, just for the hell of it, grab another reference to my target, and we want to set movement mode and we'll take that back from none to walking, and I just love how everything is just so neat and organized. Alright, so now we can actually walk again. Let's actually take a look at what's going on. So, character's running around being a dirty asshole, and oh no, he's wanted. Oh, damn, coppers caught us. Get teleported to jail, and now we can walk again. And our cop went back to where his location was, so he's good. Now, technically, this would be a smaller jail cell or whatever else. I'm actually going to take in this prison location. Let's just make it 700. You'll notice his feet were slightly in the ground. So, as we're running around, we got our icon. We can't move. We're teleported to jail. A few seconds later, we can move around. Everything is good to go. And our popo's back in his location. But I got out of jail, and I'm going to be an asshole again. You can't catch me, copper. Okay, you caught me. And back to jail. So everything resets and everything flows. I don't know why there's a secondary reset there, but it's like a few seconds later. Well, actually, let's do it again. You notice he didn't start moving until I hit the ground because it wasn't in his nav mesh bounds. So now I can move. And you're not going to do it now. The reason why I put that 5-second delay in is not just to incarcerate our player and keep him from moving around or anything, but what was happening is there was a secondary, I would get teleported to here, everything's fine, I can start moving again, all of a sudden, bam, I get teleported again. And I'm going to have to sort out a few other things, which everything needs to be in a, my prison was lined up perfectly. Everything needs to be in an AI behavior tree. That way, it should work a lot smoother, a lot more effectively. So yeah, this was just proof of concept testing. So there, it catches us, resets everything, puts us in jail, and off we go. When our sentence is over, we can move around and be free again. So that's that. Bit dehydrated today. I've had some issues. Of course, nothing new. I've had some health issues I've been dealing with. So this time it causes, dehydration to be part of it. All right, so that. Let's save everything. Movement stuff, motion. This is, we'll dedicate this, the Wednesday show for whatever the hell, motion related stuff. So we don't need you open. It's like our hoverboard. But it's set up to deal with gravity a little bit differently. And, poor bastard, not in the way that I really want to set it up. So I need to end up working on another system. For the hoverboard, you can't really go up hills. So you have to get off the hoverboard and walk up the hill. And if you're actually on the hill and you're on the board, well, shit, you just slide right back down the hill. So what is it, and what can we do to assist with the... Oh shit, I forgot to put that in here. It was like, what the hell's that noise? Is that my stomach grumbling? No. It's the sound of the rocket going by. Put a slight rotation to it so it looked a little bit nicer. But it is absolutely cheesy as hell. Then was playing around with the cable actors, was thinking about adding a ski lift mechanism. So that whenever you walk over to, like say this location right here, there would be something that would act as a ski lift. So I was just playing around with cable actors just to have, an idea of how I could lay it out. So, what can we do for movement on our characters? So many different ways of moving our characters around besides just our regular walking. If we use 1, 2, and 3 on my key bindings here. So, and we got spacebar. Haven't set up a sprint or anything in here yet, but so we can hit the F key. Right now E key is bound to something, but we could hit F and maybe propel us a little bit. So let's see what we can come up with. Add an additional movement system in here. Find a clear space to work in. And we will do keyboard F. We hit that F key. We want to do something. Well, we've got components we can add. And I have not messed with this before, so it's worth looking into. No, not widgets. I've done those. A physics thruster. Used with objects that have physics to apply force down the negative X direction. Point X in the direction you want the thrust in. Okay, that sounds whatever. Thrust strength 100. Is this a... Alright, so this is a thing we can manipulate the location where it applies the thrust. So let's put it on. Screw it. Let's put it on the ground and see what happens. Actually, you know what? Let's bring it up just a little bit. So, can we trigger this? Let's see what we can do with this. Activate and deactivate. And it's visible in game. Well, you know, we didn't set it to run off the mesh, so it's not going to be applied directly to our body in any way, shape, or form. And auto activated is not checked, so that's good. But let's just do activate when we press the key and deactivate when we release the key. Seems logical, right? Have no clue. Never done this shit before. So what happens now if we hit the F key? I don't see anything. And because physics is not enabled. Alright, so settle down. Capsule component. But if I simulate physics, our player's probably not going to like that. Now we can't walk. That makes a lot of sense. So, what is the frickin' purpose of this? Adding it to an object, that's one thing that doesn't already have movement. So, I'm not liking it. Actually, let's do that. Now, our player does have a first-person view. In fact, let's actually take a look in a different project. And I know one that I've already got some things already set up in it. Now, with our player, alright, here we go. I don't know, whatever I got going on. Okay, this one, we already have a teleport. It teleports us to this location. We also have this, where we can throw that out there, and that becomes a teleport location. So that was that. Now, one of the things I did play around with was on our character. When we left clicked, we could. Okay, we're just spawning our magic box in, is all we're doing. We don't want our magic box. This is all set up to run off of left mouse button. Yeah, that's the #1 key. Never mind. Okay. So we'll just use, because we had that replication set up on here. Let's actually go in here and we hit the F key. Keyboard F. Now, what I want to do is, if you notice how we did this over here was client. We're using our crosshair. We're checking to see if we can shoot. Let's see here. we'll recreate this manually so you can see why I'm doing it. Spawning an actor. Okay. Spawner. No, we don't need the spawner location. Oh, yeah. This is because what we're doing with that was, okay, yeah, I'm okay. I almost know what I'm doing. Very seldom. Yeah. So, what we'll do is we'll just do a line trace. Do a line trace by channel. So what we'll do is, when we're in here, and we're in our first person mode, and we place our crosshair somewhere and hit the F key, we'll use that as a method of moving our character to that location automatically. But we don't want to be in first person mode whenever we start moving and that kind of stuff. So we'll do one step at a time. We'll do line trace by channel. So let's get a line trace going. So what I'll do is get a reference to our first person camera, and we will get world location because that's where we want it to start from. And I'm going to space this out so we can actually see everything. That will be our start. The next thing we want from our FPS camera is we need to get forward vector. And we're going to take this forward vector and we're going to multiply it by a float, and we're going to set this as our distance. Our max distance we can do this to is 2000. Sounds fair enough. And then we're going to vector plus vector. We're going to add these two values together. Why? Because this is what you do. Alright, so now we'll plug that shite in there and draw debug type for duration, and we'll leave it at default 3, around 5 seconds rather. So now we have a line trace that will activate, but right now we haven't set any stipulations for it, so it'll just fire off when we hit the F key, and it's going to fire off in the location of where our camera is looking, even though we may not be looking in the same location. But now that we're in this, we're going to get a precise right where our crosshair is. So we want to make sure that we're in that mode. So how do we ensure that we're in that mode? Well, up here we did use crosshair. Okay. So let's try that. Let's put in a branch. And with that branch, we need to ask the question, are we able to use the crosshair? Or are we using crosshair? So now, it's not going to work, but now, when I go into this mode, it does work. Nice, right? So, did I do the other version? No, I did not. Alright, awesome. We don't care about the magic box. So I'm going to have to do a quick change here of how I have this set up. Because I want to make these as separate custom events so that I can call them separately. So, first thing is custom. So I can create a custom event, and it is going to be called FPS view. And when we're in that FPS view, and I'm going to do another custom third person view. So what I need to do here is bring these in and I need to break this. I'm still going to use it, but I need to get it out of the way. So on the first person view, we want to do all this. And on the third person view, we want to do all that. Everything else still stays working just as it is. We're just splitting them up into actual events. So now we can actually take these two and bring them in. So FPS view, we hit it the first time, and we hit it the second time, TPS. And that is all we need to do for that, I believe, for now. So when we do this here, we want to ensure that we're in that view, and we can do that by checking by the crosshair. So that works. So now that we've got this information, we need to get on hit, break hit results, and we're going to get our data that we need from here. So once we get our location, let's see what we can do here. Impact point. We can promote that to a variable and call this our guide to location. Whatever. We're setting this information, in other words. And to make sure that we've got it, let's actually do a print text. And we're going to connect this to here so that we can convert it over to text. So now when we hit the F key, nothing happens unless we're in this view. We hit the F, and it's going to report back what the location was of what we're doing. So that's awesome. Now, what I want to do is move my character to that location. That's the next thing. Well, the next thing we need to do is we need to go back into TPS view. So let's see what happens when we do that. It's going to temporarily mess up our key here, but whatever. We do it, and we force our view back. We see, we still targeted it. We still got our information. So we're good. But how could we force our character to move to that location? And actually, this information is not going to be valid. What do you mean it's not going to be valid? That's the impact point. That's where we're going. Yes and no. We need to effectively add 100 to that location. Because if we go to that location, our point is, it's going to put us in the ground. So we'll try it with this, and if it doesn't work, then if it looks weird, then we can take it back out. But for now, we're good, and we're going to change our view to this location. And how are we going to get there? AI move to, but we're not an AI. We're not a bot. Why would I use an AI move to? But hey, you're not a bot. So of course it doesn't work. So we could just teleport there, but I don't want to just teleport there, because that's stupid. Anybody can just do set actor location. That becomes a thing. Class settings, class default, regular AI controller. Let's actually and see, simple move to location. Never tried this way either. You know, it's the thing is, whatever Wednesday. We try things, people show up, we can all work together, put our heads together, and try to figure out something, and that would be awesome. Nobody shows up, nobody pitches anything, then the hell with it, and then I just do whatever. So that didn't work either. There is something I do need to check though, because I are stupid. Before we even start doing that, had it on the other map and I changed to this map, and what is it that I need? I need a nav mesh bounds, because if I'm going to be using any kind of AI controller, then I have to have nav mesh bounds. Don't we feel stupid? There. Now we're there. So now what happens if we do AI move 2 and use our location, get a reference to self, does it work? Well, that does not work. Okay, well, no problem. No, we don't want to move to the actor. Move to, symbol move to location. That is our goal location. And our controller is our player controller. However, okay, awesome. Now we're able to do it. Go into our first person mode, aim at the location we want, press F, and hands free. My character just automatically walks to that location. So now we have an autopilot. So that's it. So we can do it. It works. So let's create a little difference here. Let's create, well, first off, if we're going to use an animation montage, we need to look at our animation blueprint. And in my case, that is located, wow, where the hell did I put it? Right there. I made this shit and don't know where I put things. Alright, so we don't need that. We need the event graph. Wow, you can tell I've done a lot with this one. I'll show that back in here. I just use AI move to. Let's see, go back to here, go to anim graph. To be able to use an animation montage, we just need to add in another default, slot default. I'm going back into the player character in just a second, so you'll see exactly what I'm doing. So yeah, this is going to allow us to do animation montage. Hey, I'm doing that stupid swirl the mouse thing in the circle. God, I hate when people do that shit. You let me do it. It's your fault. So yeah, all I did was actually use simple move to location, not AI move to, and just got a reference to my player controller and got the location based off of the impact point. So what I want to do is I want to create a custom animation. This is going to be complicated and it's going to be, hard to do this. I say this sarcastically. If you want me to turn my camera on so you guys can see how sexy I am and shit, just let me know. But let's see. Third person jump loop. I'm going to right click on this. I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to call this my hover whatever. And I'm going to go into it, and I'm going to pause it. Go back to frame 1. I don't want his foot all down, so I'm going to bring it up just a little bit, and let's bring his leg down, kind of match the other one. Nope. Come here, son of a bitch. Give me your leg, you asshole. God damn it. Okay. So this is really super complicated, high-end, super awesome frickin' animation stuff here. Let's see. Put your damn arm down. You look like a friggin' idiot. You still look like an idiot. Get that arm back. This is high-end, complicated stuff here, so. Alright, so that's close enough. And I mean, you could do whatever you want with this freaking animation. He's already in the air a little bit. Oh no, dumbass. Want the frickin' upper arm. And let's rotate it back and forward a little bit. Alright, so this is awesome. This is good enough. We're going to key and apply. Now we hit play. It looks absolutely dorky as shit. And that's perfect. Alright, close enough. So I'll take that. This is just absolutely stupid, but create animation montage. And we'll just leave it at that. And we're going to save all. So, what I want to do is I want to do that animation while I'm going to that location. So, let's actually just can do this a couple different ways. Let's see, play animation montage. We just want to play a montage. The montage is, well, there's only one. And I want it to be moving to that location while we're doing this. Play rate is fine. Starting point, whatever. Shouldn't have to change anything else. We'll see what else needs to be changed here. So we'll go back into our first person view. We hit F, and that didn't do what I wanted to do. So let's dump that. Montage. Play animation montage. Now, I'll probably end up going back and doing the other method just because I know that it works. it's not as nice. You always want to use a montage. And I could set this up to work in the animation blueprint as well. So he just faltered there because there was an obstacle on the way. I did that kind of on purpose. Yeah, see, he's blocked by an obstacle here. So it's not like an AI move to where they're going to avoid obstacles. So something to think about later on. In fact, for right now, let's go ahead and just... We don't need you to in my damn app. So I'm going to do this a different way, just so that I know that it's going to stay in that animation. Play animation. And this is going to put me in that animation. It's going to keep me in that animation. And I'm going to have to tell it to get out of that animation whenever it gets to that location. So, but here's the problem. With this simple move to location, well, we'll set that to looping. How are we going to have a success when we know that we're there? So we didn't actually give it the animation. So we're kind of stuck in that right now. So the animation is actually going to be hover, compile and save. But how do we know that we're at the location? May try this instead, but because it has an on move finished. So let's see if we can use that. We know this will move us, and that's fine, but I need to know that we're finished. Here's our controller. And that is AI controller. Shit. Well, let's see if we can work with this. Goal actor is not necessary. Use pathfinding. That would be a good thing to get around stuff. And then on move finished. We need to anim instance. We need to set animation instance class here. Get your ass down there. And we'll set it back to third person animation blueprint, which is our normal animation. So now we got to get our... Fuck you, get up there. Get AI controller. It should be okay. Let's see what happens now. Well, it don't want to go there. So that didn't work. So try that maybe. This is all new to me, so we know that the other way worked, just got us there, but I want to associate it with an animation system so it actually does an animation, even though this one's absolutely shitty. I want it to go to that animation, I want it to get there, and then go back to normal movement. Goal actor will be a actor that we're going to. Yeah, that's not going to work. And so we know that works, but it doesn't give us a completion to it. And we want to have it to where move to location. I mean, simple move to location is what we're already using. I said that works. Well, I mean, we can always just stick that on there in case it automatically works whenever it gets to that location. So, okay, now we're there, we're completed. So, and I highly doubt that, but yeah, it just went back to a normal animation. So if I go back into and pick my target, it just walks to that location. I want you to stay in that frickin' animation. Because if I do that, and then just leave off the end part, we'll stay in the animation until we get close enough to that point. So that's why I did the plus 100. So let's actually see if we can... If we didn't have that plus 100 on there, so we get to that location, you can see it's trying to go down into the ground. So if we add 200 to the Z, it's actually going to set the actual location we're going to higher than what we initially aimed. And it's not able to get to that point. Didn't matter if we had it at 100 or 200. So that's the problem, is it's not going to transition. I'll have to come up with another way of doing that. I would like it to actually change the location. I mean, to change the animation while it's actually going from point A to point B. But if it don't want to work, then for right now, we know that this part works. We've set some locomotion. We have set, and we'll walk over to that location, and it's still stopping short. So that will be, if I aim at the wall there, it just totally gave up. Not the best shit in the world, but that one worked. But again, it's stopping halfway because, I don't know. I mean, without that at all, the impact point, I mean, we don't even have to have this node in here at all, because location just needs to be plugged in, or the impact point, or whatever, you know. We're forcing our TPS view. We could set up variables and say, okay, you're there, put it back into your view that you were in before, and that kind of stuff. But let's see here. Let's try it with it just plugged into location. I left the line trace in there just so we can see that this and this are not in the same location. So, I may have to do something. Yeah. I figure that would be kind of a problem. Is the line trace is going into the ground. Could probably do this a different method, and with that method, instead of just the line trace actually giving us our dead location this way, split it up to where right now, our maximum move distance, our aim distance for that in the max is 2,000. So, I mean, I could help jack that up for right now to 5,000. I know that's bigger than the arena that I'm in. So it's not going to matter all that much if I'm aimed here. See, it just totally didn't do anything. But I click onto the ground, it'll let me move there. So, it worked a little bit better that way. Maybe, diagonally, this wasn't 1,000. Uh-oh. Okay, well, it's pretty good that way. But what I want to get out of my brain here while I can is you're getting all this information. Your line trace is pointing you in a certain direction. You're getting the location, and location is just going to be break vector into an XYZ coordinate. And if you look at the location we've got XYZ, then you could actually just set up a point in, just like we did with the this. It launches something out into that direction, and we can use that as a teleport to get to that location. So that little hockey puck that gets thrown out is actually our teleport location. So wherever it lands, whenever I put the explosion in there, just so we can see where it goes, and when it's set. Say, ah, damn, I want to get it up there. That one didn't work, so let's try it this way. Oh, that's even worse. So, yep, nope, that didn't work. So you can sit there and try playing around with trying to get your teleport puck to go wherever you want it to go. Yay, and it was much rejoicing. Of course, I just stuck myself into the ground, but so yeah, you can play around with stuff like this. I like the way this works. But with the teleport system this way, it's not a teleport, it's a cruise control to get to that location. It's kind of like in a top-down whenever you left-click to select the location you want it to go to. It's the same basic thing. But in this case, it's, you know, we wanted to, I'll refine this later, and we'll come up with, okay, whenever I trigger this, it doesn't matter if I'm looking at the floor, doesn't matter if I'm looking right here. Instead of just the, I don't want to calculate the Z, I just want the X and the Y. I want the location, or the rotation, the direction that I'm looking. I want to, if I tell it to go this way, see, it just does nothing. I want it to just go this way, a set distance, and I want it to play an animation while I'm doing so. So, keep experimenting with shit, see what we can come up with. But that's my methods of motion for today. We got our basic teleport pads. We have, no, stupid cube. Nobody likes you, cube. Go away. You're just a stupid cube. And you just screw with me too. Just here. We can just spam the world with cubes. Or we can teleport. And we can also hands-free move to a location with basically cruise control. Alright, that's good enough. Nothing great happened on this lovely occasion. But it's a start. Like I said, if we want to carry on with this method right here, then I would say probably come up with, I just got this location here, breaked it, and then I want to make a vector or whatever, and use this information that I get from this right here. Like, make rotation from X and Y. Why? Okay, well, brake vector. Well, yeah, but do basically that. Set up your rotation and to find your rotation for the direction you want to go to, and then have your character move X number of paces in that direction. You get it. Alright, well, you guys got any other suggestions for things? Let me know. So this was just a quickie for showing what was going on. And if anybody wanted to jump in, ask questions, poke things, and stir up the hornet's nest, whatever you want to do on whatever Wednesday, you guys got to be the ones that guide this. Friday, we'll get back into some of the basic training videos. Alright, guys. Thanks for watching, and we will see you soon.